so I can just stop for a sec off this highway and just go live to you guys. So this can be a super short one because literally my whole family and I are on the way from Miami to Dap. I don't know if I'm even live right now. Could be 40 units, but are we live? Beside the highway at McDonald's in Florida. I've never missed a live stream in, I want to say it's been 4 years now. So 52 streams, one stream every week for now live 4 years. That's 200 consistent weeks of streaming. Never missed one yet. So if you guys have any questions, shoot them in the bottom. Sorry, my phone's a little dirty there. And Wi-Fi is probably terrible because I'm in the outside of this building here trying to scab some Wi-Fi because my carrier sucks. I tried to do it from the car, but it didn't work. So I'm pulled over on the highway halfway between Miami and Davenport, Florida. But I stopped in this beautiful waterfront community with amazing Airbnb potential, super cute. It's near Jupiter and just a beautiful little town. And we've got, I was negotiating with the seller on setting up better take back, cash back, how to kind of structure something. And the realtors, they couldn't get it done. And so we had to go have a couple hours in person at the property and have a discussion directly. And so that actually got it done. We were able to build rapport, we sat down for a couple hours. Fuck, that transport truck is so loud. Anyway, yeah, I'll help you all your questions here in a sec here. Love the comment, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Thought you forgot about us. No, I didn't. Never forget about you guys. You're an inspiration. Thanks, Patel. Appreciate that. Salute from Ottawa. Yo, I hope you guys are holding down the fort in Ottawa and fighting for our freedoms and our rights because some bullshit back in Canada there with Trudeau. I'm gonna try not to swear in case kids are watching, but it gets me so angry when you start talking about taking away people's freedoms and rights when you're not basing it on science, when you're not saving that many lives and you're potentially killing more people than you're saving. So I'm glad the UK made the right decision and removed all restrictions. And I'm glad that here in Florida, there are no restrictions. There's no one with a mask on. Though I like masks, you can't even ask someone's vaccination status. That's a $5,000 fine. So that's the way it should be. Who cares what your vaccination status is? There is nothing about transmission that whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, there's no difference. So that's just hate crime type thinking. But yeah, I got a beautiful property locked up. It has potentially 16 boat dock slips, which is interesting because you can run hydro and water and you can rent them out directly from the ocean. You can take a 2-hour boat ride on your yacht to the Bahamas, which is another strategic advantage of owning a property like this. But you can rent those slips out for like $2,500 a month, which is pretty sweet. So having like basically a private marina as well as around 27 units in the property as well potentially. So could be a 1.2 million a year revenue, even more. Like that's on the super conservative side. Best case scenario, $2 million a year. So a very interesting opportunity. Hope we can take it down. So I'll keep you guys updated. It's my 4th time visiting the property now, and that's why I'm late. I was supposed to be back at my place, but got talking with the seller about a whole bunch of stuff, and that's part of building rapport. That's part of getting the deals done. That's how you get the vendor take backs. That's how you get the cash backs. That's part of the negotiation process, right? And it's important to plan things out and that. J Doe says, these appraisers keep coming in low. What do I do? Really screw up my first burr. I don't got any dollars to do another one. Back to saving, I guess. Yeah, I mean, one challenge is how do you structure it creatively so you can do the next deal? Some of it comes back to cash backs. Some of it comes back to finding ways to bring partners on, where maybe you give up 40% of the equity in this deal, but in return, you get none of your own money in the deal. And now you can put the sweat equity in, you can find the deal, you can do the work, you can do the management, the renovations, all of that, right? Appraisers always come in low. That is what it is. I had an appraiser once come in and appraise the property at $450, and I listed it for $650. It sold 2 weeks later. I should have sued him. He was so far off market, like almost 45% off of market value. In my opinion, that's gross negligence. You didn't do your job. If it's worth $650 in the open market in a bidding war, multiple offers well over his appraised value. But they were hired by the bank and they don't want to get sued. And the appraiser only gets sued if they come in over and the bank can't recoup. So they always come in low to avoid a lawsuit because the bank always hires them. The financier always hires them, unless you're in commercial real estate, in which case you'd have a case when you hire the appraiser to say, hey, you didn't do a good enough job. Sometimes you can talk to the appraiser. Sometimes you can order another appraisal and say, hey, here are the comps. Here's the income approach, valuation. Here's the cost replacement approach. What if I could just set this on this piece of stone here? I don't know if you guys can see me. Oh, that's better. That's so much better. Where was I? Appraisals. They come in low. It's just part of the game. You might have to get multiple appraisals. If they're bank ordered, they'll always be low. I'm told that some of the bank advisors with this heat of this market are telling their appraisers to go 15 and 20% below market, to look at 6 months ago comps or 8 months ago comps to really anchor it in price that is better for the bank, because they're lending, they want to be conservative. They might be lending you 80% or 75% loan to value, and it's a lot easier. Oh, that stone might be big enough I can just drop it. Oh, no, it's not. I gotta hold it still. Yeah, did you guys see PayPal today? I'm a big shareholder in PayPal. It hurts. Hundreds of shares. I have hundreds of shares in PayPal, and it ripped down 27% on missing earnings by a penny and adjusting some growth forecasts. I'm still bullish on PayPal at these prices. I'm still bullish on PayPal under $200 a share, and it's now 130. So Google too, 20-to-1 stock split on Google. Amazing. That's going to make it way more accessible to the retail investors, to the Wall Street bets guys. Better or worse? Better or worse? There we go. Can you hear me now? Is it connecting? Okay. We love truckers. Love you too, baby. Okay, my kid's gonna want to go here, so I got like 5 minutes to go. Okay. We love truckers. I love truckers too. I love that. You know what I love about the truckers the most is that they had the balls to stand up and start this movement. But now millions of other Canadians who also are fed up with the mandates and the lockdowns, vaccinated or unvaccinated, they're done with the mandates. And they're coming together. And I think the truckers started something that's going to end with millions of Canadians standing behind it. I'm hoping there's a referendum or a vote to remove a lot of these restrictions. Just makes no sense. Just makes no sense. Check out Lake Nona. Someone text me that on Instagram, or just send me an Instagram message. I'll check that out later tonight. Yeah, I mean, someone just made a comment about, Kitchener, Waterloo, Guelph, London, anywhere in southwestern Ontario appreciating like 40% year over year. It hurts because I've sold most of my Canadian portfolio off, but I also made millions of dollars, so I can't complain. I'm still way up, and I still have a few properties left. So I think we have 5 that haven't sold yet. So I'm still riding it up. All good. Right on, Canadian trucker. I love it. Freedom. Nothing better than the right to have a free and open society where we can choose whether or not we want to get jabbed and injected. Love you too. Thoughts on Coinbase? Could be a competitor against PayPal. I'm not a huge fan of Coinbase. I agree. I think Coinbase has a lot of potential. If I see Coinbase slip a little more, I'd be more interested. If we see another 5 or 10% slip in the share price, I think there'd be a good entry point for Coinbase. I'm extremely bullish on Google. The next down day, I'm going to go harder on Google. I do own Google, so I benefited, 10 grand or something today from the bump on Google. I'll continue to be bullish on Google. I like a lot of the crypto plays too. I'm extremely bullish on those as well. Is O'Toole out? That's amazing news. I hated him. I actually didn't vote for the Conservative Party for the first time ever because he's a tool. Oh, thank you. Thank you for giving me that funny face. That's great, Andrew. That's great news. I'm so happy to hear that. Hopefully we can get a leader behind the Conservative Party that we can actually rally behind, because Justin Trudeau only won because there was officially no good opposition leader. It was so sad. Anyway, Next one was, good evening. I haven't tuned in a while. Hope everything's going well in Florida. Will, it is. It's been a great month in Florida. I've been in Florida now since the start of January, so it's been a month. Now we're into the start of February. I may be going to the Bahamas soon to check out some very interesting, really interesting. I'll have to look into that further. Thanks, Will, for sharing. Assuming Pierre wins a seat. Interesting. Happy Wise Wealth, guys. Live on the road here because I'm doing a deal. And if you guys want to get involved, by the way, in Florida. No, baby. You're so silly. Sorry, that's my 2-year-old. She's making funny faces. I forget what I was going to say now. I don't know. If you guys want to get involved in stuff down here, that'd be cool. I'm looking for both active. Oh, guys, there's a little lizard at this McDonald's. Do you guys see him? Hey, little buddy. Hey, oh, there he goes. Little one. There were so many big lizards, but little lizards everywhere too. That's my train of thought. Checking out Bahamas because 90 days in the Bahamas, if you buy a property there, you become a tax resident. And so you can spend 9 months outside the Bahamas and still be a tax resident in the Bahamas and not a tax resident anywhere else. And they don't care about worldwide income, 0 capital gains tax on crypto, real estate, 0 tax period. Corporate tax, none. Corporate income, no tax. So set up a Bahamas Corp, flow the income out to the Bahamas, 0 tax, beautiful tax haven, beautiful country, great people. You can invest in the local market. Mike, this isn't a 2-week trip. Invest in one of those things. You need to hold your phone. Yeah, I have something I can use back at the house, but I didn't bring it with. So, yeah, I should go buy something, eh? I should have stopped. But, like, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Like, literally, there's, like, we just pulled off the highway, and it's some random town. I don't even know where I am. There's a Walgreens, McDonald's, Wendy's. I don't see any stores I could use to buy something here. So, you get shaky hand camera. You're lucky I'm on here at all right now. Yeah. But I'm here. Hey, Nicole. Been watching your videos since 2019 because you, my family, is totally ready for whatever the governments want to throw our way. Love it. Predictions on appreciation in Southwestern real estate for 2022. If you had to throw a percent up and down, what would you throw? So short term, talking like right now till rates hike in the spring and into the summer as they start to creep up, it's going to get hotter, way hotter. That's my prediction. So short term, bullish, really bullish. You're going to see it rip to new highs, like maybe 10, 15% on some of the fringe properties. You'll see some crazy bidding wars way over. And then it's going to be a crash. So it's going to feel a lot like the COVID crash. So I don't know if you guys were watching, but during 2020 COVID, in April, in London, properties dropped up to 20% in 1 month. We felt a major correction. So people say it can't happen in Canada. It can happen. It did happen. I bought properties at 20, 30, and 35, 40% discounts during COVID when there was fear. I threw offers out on stuff on MLS for 30% discounts. And agents were bringing it to clients. The clients were so afraid the world was going to end with COVID that they were actually accepting these offers. So while the average price in Canada during that time was mostly looking flat, in certain pockets, we were seeing 20 and 30% dips within the same city. That will happen again. We will be flat for a long time. There will be a down market. Rising interest rates will make, and there's no affordability. Like, people can't afford to own. And the properties that they're buying for income near the, Fanshawe College in London, et cetera, they have no cash flow. They're negative cash flow. So when you're losing money and then interest rates come up, you lose more money, and then it stops appreciating. Guess what? The dominoes start falling. You're like, oh, darn, I'm holding this property, and I'm losing money every month, and I'm going to lose money on appreciation because I overpaid. That's when it's going to start to sink in the Canadian real estate market. We will see a lot like what happened in 91. There was a huge inflation spike, and then it was flat. If you bought a house in 91 or 1990 in Canada, in Toronto, London, Kitchener-Waterloo, whatever, from 91 to 2005, over a 15-year period, your house was worth the same amount. You made nothing. You put money into the house to maintain it, CapEx, maintenance, whatever, you made nothing. That's going to happen again. So, Facebook's down 25% after hours. I've been driving the last 3 hours, so I haven't checked. That's amazing. I just sold my Facebook off. I have no Facebook shares. Woo! Gonna buy it tomorrow. We're gonna get some put options going tomorrow. That'll be nice, interesting. You know what's great about a bloodbath like that is that the put options for Facebook at $50 a share and $100 a share, which like Facebook's not going to trade at $50 a share, they're actually going to pay well tomorrow, which is essentially a risk-free investment. You can make a 20% annualized return on a risk-free investment. I think Facebook at $50 a share is risk-free. I guarantee you there'll be opportunities tomorrow. So get watching, guys. These are some crazy times. That's why I buy VIX on my portfolio. I have 10% of my portfolio is in the VIX hedge. And so if the market spikes down, my VIX spikes up, it covers a lot of the losses that I'm experiencing. Remember, guys, invest for the long term and hodl. Keep those diamond hands up. Buy quality companies and don't be afraid to hold. In 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you're gonna look back and be like, damn, PayPal was cheap. Tomorrow, Facebook's cheap. Don't get sold on the hype. Don't be afraid to invest in the future. Hey, Nicole, thank you so much. Appreciate that. I'm definitely gonna actually take you up on that offer. We are planning to come to the UK later this year, actually. So I'll be going to we have a trip planned either later this year or next year, depending on how these restrictions play out, for doing a whole Europe trip. So it's on the bucket list there. I'm 29, so I gotta enjoy my life before I turn 30 here. I gotta get some stuff done. I've made all this money and it's time to now enjoy life, and that's what it's all about. So I'm gonna end this stream in about 30 seconds here because it's already been a good minute and I'm just standing here with random people watching me. Both, like literally in this glass behind me, there are people sitting at this table watching me, thinking I'm a weirdo. And there are people in the cars beside me here at this McDonald's thinking I'm an idiot. So here I am, an idiot, for you guys, live. I really hope this Florida deal that I've been working on, it's got an ARV of like between 8 and 10 million, I think, and could bring in a couple $1 million a year top line. Just a beautiful property, a lot of potential. I'm really excited for it. So yeah, if you want to get in on that, you know, I might be looking for one partner on that. So if you're that person who has 7 figures and you want to chat, let's have a chat. It's a beautiful burr. And it's on the water. Oh, beautiful, beautiful ocean access. The views are amazing. A beautiful piece of land. Just the dirt under that building, amazing. The building needs a lot of work. It needs $1 million at least to work, but that's my specialty, so no big deal. Should I wait or buy aggressively? I love being aggressive in all things that I do. I go all the way. That's just who I am. But I think it's important not to do that on leverage. Too much margin. Too much debt can be dangerous if you're not managing your cash flow, managing your bottom line. It's important to watch the bottom line more than anything else. So, hi Mike, can you talk about implementing the wheel strategy? So tomorrow, a great example, if Facebook's down 25% after hours, geez, some of these people are just ripping on this highway here. Florida life, on the highway, going live, unplanned. Wheel strategy. So the wheel is basically selling puts until you're assigned quality companies. Run the wheel only on quality companies. You can run on the indexes like the S&P 500 too. Tomorrow's a great day to run the wheel 10, 20, 30% out of the money or more on say Facebook as an example. You can run the wheel. You may get assigned. Let's say you sold on Facebook at $150 a share and it goes down to $150 and you get assigned shares of Facebook at $150. Sweet, that's awesome. That's a 50% drop. Let's just say that happened, right? Well, then you sell calls, covered calls on the shares you were just assigned that you got at a discount because you sold puts on them. So you sell puts to get a discount on quality shares you want to own. Then when you own the shares at a discount, you can continue to hold them, enjoy them, watch them appreciate. But if you want to make a little extra money on top, it's like dividends, you can sell covered calls way out of the money, say at $300 instead of $150. And so if it goes to $300, your shares get called away and make a 50% profit. If it doesn't go to $300 and it stays low, you get 1 to 2% a month, depends on what prices you're selling at, but you get a good return. It's like a dividend on the shares that you own. So you sell them at a price that you're willing to sell your shares at. You say, hey, I bought shares at Facebook, I got assigned let's say 150. I'm okay to sell them at 250 or 200 or whatever. That's a nice profit. I'm happy with that. You can get paid to agree to sell your shares if it appreciates that much. That's selling covered calls. And you run that strategy again and again and again. You keep selling puts until you're assigned the equity, and then once you own the equity, then you sell calls on those shares that you own, and you run the wheel. And most people you make better than if you just held the equity, 100%. You make more. So it's a stable quality strategy to use on blue chip quality stuff, indexes. It's a great strategy. It's a great way to create cash flow where the market is flat. Like if we go through a period where there's no appreciation or goes slightly down, you can still make 1% or more a month using this type of options trading strategy. So I highly recommend it. Yeah, stance on crypto, bullish. I'm a crypto bull. I'm bullish on Ethereum, bullish on Bitcoin, hodling some alts. I don't have my whole portfolio. It's like 5% of my net worth in crypto, but less even right now. But I am bullish, and I want to get more into it. I'm easing into it. People's got their windows down, just bumping some tunes over there. That's that Florida life. How should I set myself up for success? There's lots of ways you can set yourself up for success. Chase your passion, man. That's the key. Chase your passion. So, J-Do, I'm saying that you could sell Facebook options at 50% out of the money, 10 to 50% out of the money. And I would say that another 50% drop on Facebook is essentially not going to happen. We'd be in full economic collapse if that happens. And you'd want to buy at that time. Like during the biggest dips and the recessions, that's when you want to be loading up on equity. So if you were to sell puts at that price point, at full-blown market depression points, that's when you want to be buying anyway. So the worst case scenario is you get assigned and you have to buy the shares at, say, 150 a share. They will pay you annualized premium. Probably tomorrow there'll be a few options that'll sell way out of the money. They're essentially like risk-free. But when the market's down 26, 27%, the market's in free fall and fear, they're like, maybe it'll go to zero. It won't go to zero. Facebook's not going to zero. But there are people out there who might take that, who might buy insurance that Facebook might go to zero. And you get to collect premium on that. So if you sold puts way out of the money, there's a very low probability of ever being assigned the equity, which means you will get money for nothing. And so what I'm saying is it's near risk-free money on days like tomorrow, on companies like that, quality companies like that won't go to zero, right? Like, and ideally you do this on 100 companies, not just on one company. So you're spread out. You do it on the whole index. And then the index never fails. The whole world doesn't fail. That isn't how it works. One company can fail, yeah. But if you have 50 positions like this, even if one fails to zero, you lose 2% of your portfolio. Who cares? The rest of them are all up. And on those days where they're bloodbaths, that's when you sell insurance. And selling puts is selling insurance. That's all it is. Anyway, I gotta go, guys. Yeah, I'm still in the market. I'm riding it out. I'll hodl as long as it takes. These diamond hands will hold all year if I have to. All right, guys, I gotta go. Have a good time in whatever you're doing. Enjoy the snow in Canada. If you're traveling like I am, let's link up in Florida. If you're in Florida, shoot me a DM if you want to get together, just to hang out, whatever. Talk shop. I might be open to that, depending on where you're at. There might be an opportunity to do that. But I gotta get back on the road and keep on driving. By the time I get home, my kids will be ready for bed. Have a good night, everyone. Remember, the secret to unlocking a wealthier you: spend less, earn more, and maximize returns on the difference. You guys can be as rich as you'd like.